the money lives in the nuances. If you find these on anything, you're gonna make some money with these brands just because they hold a lot of value. How's it going? In today's video, we're gonna talk about 35 men's brands that sell extremely well on eBay. Hopefully you guys can find some of these to sell. They're out there, they're hard to come by, but when you find them, you're gonna make a lot of money. We're also gonna talk about Found. They're the sponsor of today's video. Found is a banking service. It's also an app you can use to track everything in your eBay business. We're gonna talk more about them later in the video. So the reason I made this video is because of a commenter. Her name is Carolyn. She left a comment. I'm gonna put it up right over here. And basically, I'm gonna sum it up, but it said, Sean, we want another brands video. I made one last year that did extremely well, and I guess it helps a lot of people. For me, this is kind of items that you don't see every day, but when you do find them, you're gonna make a lot of money. And the more of these you know, the better it is for your business, because those home runs really balance out the low profit stuff that I typically sell. We're gonna break this down into 3 categories. Brands that I had no clue of, your designer high-end brands. And then the third category is gonna be some of the better sellers that I do find a little more often. First brand we're gonna talk about, this is Ironheart. Ironheart, never heard of it. I guess it's a motorcycle brand. They had a bunch of flannels in this brand. And then I do wanna talk about like the tags. So a lot of tags are, you know, flashy, or they're basic and simple. A lot of times some people don't have money for their brand, so they just go with a cheap tag, and then others put all the money into the tag, and then they have really cheap clothing. So with this Ironheart one, it looks like a pretty basic rectangular tag. It's got the yellow lettering or whatever, the font, really basic, just has the size there, but this was a really good one. I don't want to say this is a really good one after each one, because all these brands are really good. I basically went to eBay, I sorted from high to low in the men's like shirts category, and then I like capped it at $300, because shirts that are over $300, those are like really, really rare. I mean, anything from like 100 to 300 is pretty rare in the tops category for men's. I wanted to give like a realistic view of like what we could find out there, and I have found a great number of these, but Ironheart was one that I have not found yet. Next was Fear of God. Fear of God sounds terrifying. I mean, it's like the Wrath of God would be another name I think of. This one has a tag that a lot of people have copied. White, beige, like it's almost like an off-white tag, and then it has the black font. Fear of God, I know I've heard about this one on YouTube, I think a couple times, but I have not come across it, and I never really looked up the brand to see how good it was. And yes, it was really good. Hope to find this one. They did have a lot with this collection piece. So I think depending on which collection you get, it says 4th collection, 2015, 2016. I think some of them are much more valuable, but I'm not doing like a deep breakdown into each one of these brands. But my next video that I want to put out after maybe a few sourcing videos and like a what sold is I want to do a video about, you know, nuances in very common brands that you can make some money in, because the money lives in the nuances. These brands though, if you find these on anything, whether it's like tops, shorts, jeans, hats, whatever, you're going to make some money with these brands just because they hold a lot of value. Then we have Tom Ford. Tom Ford is a business casual brand. Now I have heard of this brand. I have not come across it though. It's very high end. I feel like there's a lot that like try to copy Tom Ford, whether it's like a different name, or like I've never seen this tag either. It looks like it's got triangles on either end. Tom Ford is a really expensive one to look out for. It's kind of up there with like Brioni, which yes, Brioni's on this list as well. We've got Thom Browne. Now I think it's pronounced Thom Brownie, maybe. I mean, it looks like brownie, but there's no I. This is made in Japan. So when it comes to clothing, anything made in Japan is usually going to be pretty good. Now there's some Japanese brands out there that's really hard to pronounce, some anime type stuff. If you find like business casual type wear, or jeans especially, made in Japan is usually a telltale sign that it's going to be worth some pretty good money. Let's take a break from the brands for a minute and let's talk about Found. Found is an all-in-one banking service for self-employed people. One of the things I like about Found is they give you a Found debit MasterCard. It doesn't have any ATM fees. So if you're going to garage sales, if you're doing Facebook Marketplace deals and you have your Found card, you can go to the ATMs, you can withdraw money and not have to worry about fees. That's a big one. The second one is the expense tracking. Anytime you go to a thrift store, you need to categorize them as cost of goods, or however you want to do in your business. If you get fuel, if you go get travel meals, Found has an easy way to set up where you can just select, put it in the category, it stays there, and then it has all this data, and it can kind of show you a nice, easy way of like, this is how much you're gonna have to spend in taxes because you have everything categorized. It's very easy to sign up. It also has an app. Found app is super convenient because you can do it on the go. To have an app in your pocket to be able to check on your things to make sure, okay, I'm saving enough for taxes. Oh, Found saving the money for me so I don't have to worry about it. Once you sign up, you'll be able to feel like you're actually a business and not just kind of unorganized with a bunch of Excel spreadsheets, not understanding like where your money's going and like what you can deduct for your taxes. If you guys want to check out Found, I have the links down in the description below. You can use my codes. Found, super grateful to have them. Very easy. I'm impressed with them. It's like it has all the stuff I need and not all the extra stuff that I don't need. So thank you, Found, for sponsoring this video, and let's get back to some of these brands. Then we got some more of the designer brands. So these designer brands are going to be like your pillars of the fashion industry. When you think of like runway and fashion shows, you're going to think of some of these names. Louis Vuitton or Louis Vuitton. It's got like the rectangle with the name, and then it's got the size below it, and then like where it's made, and then the material tag. I don't know exactly where it is on these. You know, Louis Vuitton, you're going to find knockoffs of this in like the purse and the sunglass category especially. One of the key factors is where it's made. So you will see some of these designer brands made in random countries, not your Italys and Japans, or like, you know, things that like you know is like kind of money. Like some may just say made in Britain or China, and it's not necessarily like the same line of Louis Vuitton as other Louis Vuitton. So then we got Dolce and Gabbana. So I don't know if it's Dulce and Gabbana. I feel like Dulce is sweet in Spanish. Another made in Italy brand. There's kind of a trend here, right? Like made in Italy is going to be something to look out for. Have not found these. I found some like glasses cases of these, and definitely some women's glasses in Dulce and Gabbana. Another one that, yeah, they actually sell men's stuff too. So not come across it yet, but we are looking out for this stuff at all times. Then we got Balenciaga. It took me a while to figure out how to pronounce Balenciaga. You can see here it's got the sizing of 4. So whenever you see sizing of like numbers, a lot of times it's women's. But if you find it in the men's category, and we're not talking like a 15 or a 16.5 like for a button-up shirt, but like a sizing like James Pierce, which is going to be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, Lacoste is probably the most common one you've seen where it's got a number sizing. Sometimes number sizings can mean that it sells for a little bit more money than like your casual stuff. I found some Balenciaga shoes in a thrift store, and they wanted like $250. I think they were like $1,000 retail, but I'm not really sure. I'm not confident in like taking a swing on a pair of shoes because I'm not really in that category. But if I saw Balenciaga in clothing, I'd pick it up. And look how basic this is. It's just a black tag with some light white lettering. Yeah, it's going to be kind of tough to, you know, see this one and then understand that Balenciaga is not like some random Amazon brand. It's actually like a really good high-end designer brand. So hopefully this video helps kind of, even if you retain just some of these brands, you'll be like shocked and surprised when you find them and be like, oh yeah, that is a really good one, I think. And then, you know, you look it up and you'll see the comps or the comparable solds for these items. Then we got Versace, Gianni Versace. I don't know. But again, another made in Italy runway type brand that's going to be super valuable. And a lot of these, you know, you might see their sunglasses a lot more. And I think what that is they're pieces for fashion, whether it's like jackets, button-ups, jeans, are probably really high. But then you can get a pair of sunglasses or like an accessory piece that isn't quite as high. And then you can still say like, yeah, I have Dolce & Gabbana or Louis Vuitton this and that, but you're not paying up for like their most expensive pieces. It's like the cheapest stuff they have still being hundreds of dollars you can get your hands on. And I think that's why you see a lot more of the sunglasses. And also we talked about like the fakes issue. Moving on, we've got Saint Laurent. So Saint Laurent is going to be another one of those like foreign type brands. You know, a lot of these are kind of in that vein. And Saint Laurent, I mean, there's a lot of brands with Saint in the name. There's St. John's Bay. There's St. John's, which is actually the one you want to look for. So it can be easily to pass up these white tagged items. I mean, these are just white rectangles with black font. It's very, very common. Probably off-white though, like not quite beige, but maybe ivory-ish or something. It's very common, and yeah, it's going to be another one though that if you come across it, and I haven't bought one of these either, but I'm definitely going to keep a lookout for. Then we got Drake's. Now this one was definitely new for me, and things that are made in England, things that are made in like even Australia or New Zealand or what's another one, like I don't want to say like Holland, but Sweden, things like that, those types of countries. And I don't know why, but I always think of like more white people for some reason in like the Netherlands, those types of countries. I don't know why that comes to me, but I always think of like sweaters. I think of like Mighty Ducks whenever they face the Icelandic team. For some reason, that's just the vibe I get. But Drake's, I read it and I was kind of like, is this like the rap artist Drake? But he would not have the apostrophe S. And then I saw made in England. So this is a new one that I'm looking out for. A lot of these are just like single names or two names. Not heard of this one. Somerset, England. I think it's interesting that they put that there because it's not just the country, but it's also, I guess, the province or whatever, and it's state, if you want to call it a state. But whatever it is, yeah, that seems like a pretty big deal. So this was another one that I have not heard of, but I'm interested to keep looking for. Then we got Hermes or Hermes or Hermes. I don't know. This one's made in France. Now, I have come across one of these. I think it's Hermes, actually. Like, you drop the H and you just say Hermes. But I have found one of these before. Really good. And it doesn't really have to be mentioned, but I will. All these brands, if they have any flaws, you can still make some good money on it. Just because people want that material. They could either cover it up. They could fix it themselves. People are going to try to get their hands on these. You just may not get, the full amount of money, but you're going to get some money for this type of stuff. But Hermes, really good one. Yeah, I mean, all of these are really good, but it's cool because I was picking these out throughout the week, and then now that they're all in these timeline on the editor, I'm going through just so I can see it and then pop it up over here. It's nice to see wow, there's a lot of good stuff out there, and I know I've come across brands that I didn't quite know, and then I've watched videos on YouTube, and then I now know them, So I guess that's why Carolyn wanted me to make it, because she's like, it'd be easy for you, just go ahead and do it. But it took a little time to set this up, and then that's just kind of how it goes. But let's move on to some more familiar brands. We have Gucci. Gucci is an awesome brand, made in Italy. I've sold a couple Gucci shirts. They always sell really well. I'll pay up for some Gucci. You got to understand with these types of brands, they're going to sell for a lot of money, so you can pay a little more, and the profit's going to be, still good because it's going to sell for a higher clip than buying like an Under Armour, like a really standard piece. Gucci is going to be really nice. I've only found shirts in this brand, but I'm sure they have everything in Gucci. You just got to keep a lookout for it. We've got Burberry. Burberry, London, England. So Burberry is made in a number of different factories. They even have like a US one, I believe, but certain countries they're going to sell for more. Like I said, no deep dive into the brands exactly, but I know the US one's not the one you want to look for. I think it's probably the England one, and there's even other countries that it's made in that can sell for good money. But I've come across plenty of Burberry pieces. The problem with Burberry is thrift stores are going to price Burberry way higher than Hermes. They may not know Hermes is good, but Burberry they're going to know just because it's like Gucci and the next one here, Prada. A lot of people are going to understand that this is a very expensive brand because it's Devil Wears Prada, made in Italy. Some thrift stores are getting to the point where they have apps where they can just scan the tag, and it may not just be Google Lens or the eBay app, but they actually may have in-house apps where they scan it and then they price accordingly to what the market is, or a little bit less than what the market is. So I did hear about that from a worker at a new thrift store that opened up, and I was very shocked. I want to find out what exactly the app is that they use. But they were spot on. All Ralph Lauren's were $13, and what she said was they take a picture of the tag and then they price it half of what shows up after they take that photo or scan it. So all the Ralph Lauren's being at $26 for their full price is kind of what they sell for in the used market, But then they had a Ralph Lauren that was 100% linen, and they had it priced at I think, was it 25 or something? Maybe not, maybe it was 20. I don't know. They had priced it more. So that was interesting to see and a little concerning, but I won't be going back to that thrift store. It kind of got me thinking about pawn shops that sell themselves, and then there's a couple pawn shop chains that don't sell themselves, meaning they don't price and sell things online themselves. They just sell in the pawn shop. So thrift stores that don't do their own legwork are going to be better than the ones that do their own online selling and things like that. We've got Stefano Ricci. This is one that I found once before. It was a new brand to me. Never come across it. It looks pretty basic. Black rectangle, white lettering. This was awesome. It was a stained shirt. It sold for $100 with the stain on it. So it would have been a $200 shirt. If you come across this and someone's pricing it at $20, 30, 40, 50, you may just want to take a shot on it because it is that good. But I'm telling you, this is going to be a brand that they're not going to know about. A lot of thrift stores aren't going to know Stefano Ricci is a good brand. Then we've got some of the more tried and trues, some of the ones that you'll see more often. Filson or CC Filson, excellent brand. I've sold this a number of times, all sorts of conditions, like really poor conditions, good conditions. Menswear brand here, made in USA. Let's get in there, USA. You know, all those Italy ones that we were hitting up, like we got some good stuff in the US of A. Filson, love to find it. Double RL. I've only found a couple double RL. This is going to be Ralph Lauren's top line. I mean, they have purple label. I don't know if that's above double RL, but double RL is tremendous. I sold a Henley for like $60. That's like how good it is, a long sleeve Henley. I mean, if you find something really cool in this brand, who knows what you could price it at, but definitely price it up high. And we've got Isaiah, which I used to call it Isola, because that's not an L, that's like an I, but I guess it's Isaiah, whatever. This one, I think it's gone down a little bit in value, but it's still worth getting a little excited about when you find it because it's a solid brand. It's going to sell quick. All these are going to sell quick if priced right, but most of these, if you don't find them that often, price them high. I mean, it's worth sitting on an item that you only find once a year to wait a year to sell it. If you really need the money, price it whatever you think the market is. $5 less, it'll sell instantly, most likely. This is Brunello Cucinelli cashmere. So this shirt, very difficult to pronounce, very full of C's, I's, L's, E's, N's. Like there's just a ton of the same letters here. This is great. I think they have some slacks. They have some shirts. I found a couple of these. Very cool one to find. Very basic, but yeah, if you find like alphabet soup of names on these tags, there's a good chance it could be worth something. If it's hard to pronounce, good chance it could be worth something. But there's also some brands that are almost too basic and you think they're not worth anything, but they are worth some money. And that's going to be American Giant. Very basic. These pieces look like your Amazon basic brands. I mean, I've found American Giant like green hoodie sold for like $60. American Giant, very basic block lettering, black tag. It's got the little logo there. Made in USA. These ones are going to be like, this is going to be a good one if you find it, because I don't see them that much, but when you do, like I said, it could look like a basic piece and it's going to sell for good money. So really love finding something like American Giant. It's pretty rare for me to find it, but it's always a pleasure when I do find it. Then we got these jeans. I talked about them in a video before. And I always want to say Imagine jeans, like Imagine Willie jeans, but it's IMOGENE Willie. So these are a nice pair of jeans. Right whenever I saw it on the rack, the denim looks so crisp and like, I don't want to say healthy, but it just like so vibrant with the blue and the denim. You could tell a lot of money was put into these jeans. They feel almost starched, but it's just the stiffness and quality of the denim. And what I think happens is people buy these jeans that are like higher quality and they don't break them in. So it's like getting a really nice pair of boots and you don't take the effort to break it in, or like a new baseball glove, and then you just toss it to the side. Or because these jeans don't like stretch a whole lot of times they're just fit to fit and they don't change sizes in the wash. I think people may get too heavy for them, or they lose weight and they don't fit. But I believe that's the reason why anything like this would be donated, because these are really expensive jeans, really good quality. I mean, if I spent $200 on a pair of jeans brand new, which trust me, I never would, but then I outgrew them, I would save them until my son was old enough to wear them, or I would pass them off to like a cousin or somebody in the family. I wouldn't just send it to the donation bins or whatever, because I don't roll like that when it comes to money. So that's just kind of me. So anyway, this is a good one. It was an awesome sale and really easy to spot in the denim category just because it did look so nice. Then we have Doer. This is DU. I think it's / right, or backslash. Maybe it's backslash ER. Now this was a pair of chino pants, sold for really good money. I think I'm gonna start seeing more of these. Sometimes I think whenever I find a brand that I've never seen before, it might be a newer brand that like only a few select people know about and start buying at like a high price. And then as time goes on, either they lower their price or more people start buying it, so the thrift stores get more, not flooded, but they get more likelihood to have these because there's more in the market and people have worn them for a little while. So like no one's gonna buy a brand new thing and donate it. Like very rare that happens, but on items that are like maybe a couple years old that were brand new to the market and then they come to the thrift stores, you got to keep your eye out because this looked ridiculous. I didn't even know how to search this, and I ended up, taking a shot on it. I didn't have great comps because there's just not a lot of data on it, and then I was able to find some data, and I was like, you know what, this is good enough for me to take a shot because a lot of times when I see new brands after doing this for so long, I know like, okay, I've never seen that. The quality's there. Maybe it's a good brand, and a lot of times it is. We've got Beyond Clothing Systems. Now, this one threw me for a loop. The tag is super basic. It feels kind of cheap. The clothing doesn't look anything spectacular. This is like a hiking brand from Seattle, Washington, but notice it doesn't say Made in USA. It's Seattle, Washington right there. And what that tells me is there's some like niche community, or this company wants to like highlight Seattle, Washington. Like this is different than Made in the USA. This is more like, hey, this is made here in Seattle. That's an interesting thing. It's almost like the Somerset, England one that we talked about earlier, where it's like they want to put their state or city or whatever on Front Street of like, hey, this is from us, so we're going to put it on there. But yeah, this is another really good one. Like I said, all these are really good, but I say really good because looking at the tag, I found like 6 of these in the same rack. It was tremendous. And I think I don't even know if I had found it before, but I found 6 and I was like, dude, this is so great. Somebody just had their whole arsenal of Beyond hiking pants that were in like great condition, just like donated. We've got Brioni. Brioni is another great one. This is going to be like one of the Italian type brands, and I saw this at the thrift store, the one that I told you that they were scanning tags and like pricing them. They had this shirt priced at $75 at a thrift store. It's crazy. That's just the world we're living in right now when it comes to reselling. This brand though, I mean, you could probably spend $50 on it, I think. You got to be kind of careful on what type of shirt it is, but these can sell for, a lot, and it looks pretty basic. The button-up shirts especially, there's not too much you can do to a button-up shirt to make it look that crazy. Like if you think of a Robert Graham shirt, which I left them off this list, but a limited edition Robert Graham will look like an expensive shirt. A Brioni business casual shirt will look like a basic business shirt. It's not going to look flashy or anything. So knowing these brands is going to give you the edge whenever you're doing this reselling thing. Then we got Vicos Operatus XP. I don't know, dude. This is a tactical pair of jeans. Typically, tactical pants are going to be like your 511 tacticals, your ripstop, more like, chino type pants or cargo pants. This was a pair of jeans. Now, whenever you find these jeans, they're kind of in the category of like motorcycle style jeans. Not like there's going to be padding to it, but that's just kind of the vibe I get whenever I see a pair of jeans like this. For some reason, they feel tougher, and these sold for, great money. Very cool. Very difficult to figure out, like, is the brand Victos, like, or is it Operatus XP? Like, I didn't really know what was what if one was the model, if one was the brand name, but I knew I was smart enough to pay. I paid $20 for these because, like, the thrift store you could tell they probably grabbed them and were like, oh, this is good. Don't really know what it's worth, but we'll just put $20 instead of like. The thrift store probably just picked this one up and they're like, yeah, this is good condition. So instead of them putting it at like $8 or $12, they're like, we're going to put at least 20 because we know we got something here. But I was smart enough to be like, yeah, I know this is going to be worth some good money. So I paid the 20. It sold for like, I think $80 or something like that. So good turnaround. Then we got Arc'teryx. Arc'teryx is one of my more favorite ones to find. I hate it because there's one called Arc'teryx and it's a fake Arc'teryx. It's like a knockoff trying to copy their likeness. But Arc'teryx, it's going to be good in everything. Outerwear, the most good. And then, like, even polos are still going to be really good in this brand. Don't know why. I mean, I've had a couple of their pieces and I couldn't really identify, like, why it is that good. But it definitely has a following. People are, looking for it. Like, they want to have this stuff. So a lot of the thrift stores, don't necessarily know about this, but some of them definitely do. Then we got Ryan Michael. Now, a lot of thrift stores do not know about Ryan Michael. Ryan Michael is, I don't know who the guy is, but he has good Western shirts. So they'll be button-up shirts or they'll be pearl snaps. The pearl snaps obviously are going to go for more money. You'll have some that are 100% silk. I think there's some linen ones in this brand, and then you'll find some, I think, just regular cotton ones. But yeah, you're going to be wanting to look for the silk pearl snaps, but anything in this brand, you're going to do pretty good. Poncho. Poncho is not like your water poncho that you would wear if it was raining, which I don't know if people are still wearing ponchos. I don't know if that was like phased out, like rubber boots and ponchos, but I feel like that was like a vibe for a while. Poncho is going to be like a pearl snap. Sometimes they're button shirts. It says magnetic pockets here. I never really tested that out. I think this is more of like a fishing style. I'm not sure exactly, but every poncho that I've found, branded item has sold. So I made a reel about this. I got over 100,000 views on Facebook, and once you reach that 100,000, people start saying, you're the reason thrift stores are going up in price, like blah, blah, blah. And maybe me and everyone as a collective is the reason, or maybe that's just kind of how the markets change over time, and now thrifting's cool. It used to be like gross to thrift or looked down upon because you were poor, but now it's like cool to thrift, and then people obviously realize how much money you can make thrifting, and the thrift stores have realized it too. So you got to be able to understand that there's a lot of brands out there, and they might not get them all, but if they do start having an app that they all pass around, maybe that is going to be a problem. So just got to stay ahead of the curves and figure out where to find these items for the cheapest amount you can possibly find them. We have jet lag. Jet lag, I've only found it in cargo shorts. I found it probably like 5 times. It always sells well. Now this is a flashy tag. They have all this gold like stitching. Really cool. It's got a cool name, jet lag, but it's very casual. It looks very One Tree Hill vibe, like that Y2K cargo, like oversized, almost like the Hollister cargo shorts that just look like too big. And I've tried wearing them. I used to think they were so cool, man, but honestly you can't really run fast in them, and they're just it's just too much. But these sell great money. I've sold them without the buttons, and I've sold them in floral. Like, they have a lot of cool looking ones, but even their standard stuff is going to sell well. Then we got Built. I threw this one in there just because I think I had a recent sold of some Built joggers, and BYLT, pretty basic. It does look like an Amazon basic type brand. It says made in China. There's nothing too flashy about it, but you can sell the t-shirts, you can sell the joggers. Decent money here. You're going to be able to find it. It may be one you haven't heard of. It's definitely out there. You just got to be able to identify this tag and pick it up. And we got Rock Revival. Rock Revival, probably one of the better jeans out there to pick up. Problem is, it looks super flashy. Like, if you see Rock Revival out in the wild, not at a thrift store, but on a person, they're probably going to have an Affliction shirt on. They're probably going to be like into jiu-jitsu or fighting. I tried to wear a pair of Rock Revival jeans. They're way too much, man. The pockets are real low. Like, the stitching is super thick, so that's like a dead giveaway. But they'll have like the jewels, or like, it's like a little, is it a cross on the, like, the back button, I guess? Very obvious. But the thrift stores, they're going to price these up just like, like Miss Me jeans, like that style of flashiness. But still, $20 on these, you're still going to make money if you spend 20. Anything higher than that, you kind of got to be locked into what the condition is and what the sizing is if you want to maximize the profit there. But still a really good one to pick up. Then we got Diesel. Diesel's probably one of my favorite jeans to sell because they've always sold for me. Like, they're always hitting. There's a lot of different styles of Diesel. I think they have a couple lines of Diesel that are different. You want to find the one that has like the Italian flag stitching. It's like the red, white, and green. And that one is the best one, and the made in Italy's ones are the best. But they also have, I believe, made in Morocco. Not 100% sure, but I bought a pair of Diesel jeans that were my size. Thank goodness I found a pair of jeans my size. Like, I have kind of like a fit for a lower body that's kind of tough to fit a lot of jeans, but I found some, and they're super comfortable. They're my favorite piece of clothing, like, in my closet. And I can't wait till it like gets a little colder so I can wear them more. But very cool. Love Diesel. Love picking it up. Then we've got Faherty, which I used to call it Faherty. Faherty is going to be awesome in a lot of stuff. They got linen pieces. They've got some outerwear pieces that are great. The chino shorts, you'll see some that say all day shorts, and that has this sun logo with like the waves. That's going to be Faherty as well. And I don't know if it says Faherty inside the all day chino shorts, like it might, but I remember the first time I saw it, I was kind of like, wait, is that Faherty? And then I was like, oh dude, it is. But they call it all day short, but it looks like that's the brand, and it's I guess just like a line of Faherty, but pretty awesome brand. The linen stuff, like I said, is probably the more common stuff that I pick up, but a lot of things in this brand have sold for me. So tried and true, love to find it, love to sell it. And last but not least, Ariat FR jeans. Now, regular Ariat jeans have gone down in price. The FR is still holding strong. You could pay 20 bucks for these and sell them for 50, 60 bucks, depending on the condition and size, of course. Nothing has failed me with FR jeans. Now, I can find these on Facebook every so often. You'll find like people selling like 3 or 4, and yeah, they're trying to get a lot of money for them. But if you negotiate, you can maybe get to the $15 mark buying these off of Facebook. A lot of people working in the oil fields that also want to go to the bars afterwards or go to like the dance clubs, and they're going to want like the nice looking jeans. So like they wouldn't wear Rock Revival to work, but they would wear the Ariat FR, and if they didn't get them too trashed, they would still go out and wear them. And I think that's what like gives them a lot of value. It's a very, very country, very Texas type brand, and I see a lot of it, and I love picking it up. I hope you guys enjoyed the video of the 35 brands. Please let me know down in the comments, what was your favorite brand? Which ones had you not heard of? Were you happy that I even made the video? Please let me know. Also, thank you, Found, for sponsoring today's video. If you guys are interested, I do have the links down below if you guys want to sign up. I'm currently using both QuickBooks and Found because my CPA is really locked into QuickBooks, but I want to try to train my CPA into using Found, but I'm going to use Found for the foreseeable future because I do like how easy it is to use, and I like a lot of the features. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I appreciate everyone that watches. We're climbing up the subscriber ranks. I know I took a little bit of a break, but I want to keep on putting videos out. I got a lot of things I want to talk about. I know a lot of people out there need help. I'm doing a lot of other things with my life and trying to make money, but I still think it's important to come to you guys with some good solid videos so you guys can get better at this and continue making like some money, because a little bit of money made per month can really change your life, really lessen the stress that the society's kind of putting on everybody with how expensive everything is. So once again, appreciate y'all watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.